All right.
Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back. Been a long hiatus. What's it been, about 3 months? But maybe longer than that. 4 months.
Longer than that, because like
5 months.
I got a son now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
congratulations.
You know what I'm saying? It's been that long. You know what I'm saying?
Juice and his lovely wife had a baby boy. Welcome back, guys, to Intelligent Idea Talkers podcast.
And D ain't got locks no more.
Right, yeah, hair's gone.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was like
for the week of Saturday, November 9th, 2019. I'm your host, D.
This is Juice.
Hey, man, and we back, man.
Yeah.
Back for another one.
Another show, new content. A lot of stuff's been going on over the last... Man, it feels like it's been a year, dude. Yeah, but I guess it's not that long, but yeah. But stuff going on. Kanye West is now a spiritual leader.
Back in the news, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the black community does need vocal leaders, and he is one of the guys that's way out front. Okay, guys, if y'all haven't heard, Kanye West had an interview on what was it, Big Boy TV?
Yeah.
I'm not even sure when was this. When was this interview?
I know it was fairly recent. Since
October 25th, 2019.
Yeah, there you go.
So
just the end of last month.
Right.
And in it, he kind of, I won't say revealed all, but he tried to make some cogent thoughts.
He definitely has a pariah mentality to him that turns some people off, because it's like he tries to sound like a genius. Like he tries to put across his genius to the world, and it just tends to ramble. You know, I was saying right before we started recording, if he could organize his thoughts, this is not my comment, I got this off the comments for the YouTube video. If he could organize his thoughts, Kanye would have some real interesting things to say. Like, he tends to ramble on a lot, you know what I mean? And kind of turns people off to what he's saying, like the content of actually what he's trying to get across.
That's actually a really good point, because so there's always this thin line between like genius and madness, right? And you know, there's always playing these two sides going against each other. You know, what creative genius becomes mad, and what but ultimately, you know what I'm saying, a lot of times we see that our creative geniuses kind of go down dark paths. Right. And I feel like, in a way, Kanye's whole move right now, right? So I don't know if y'all know, but he's got his newest album, which is called
Jesus is King. Jesus
is King is more or less take him to church.
Really quick?
I don't care about it.
Me neither.
But like I'm not super religious. I feel like for Christian people are like, oh my God, yes, this is what we need.
Jesus
Lord,
is King.
Jesus. But like,
well, I guess a lot of Christian people did like Jesus Walks and
yeah.
My bad,
I thought it was just a dope song. But like ultimately, like what I was saying is that, like I feel like a lot of this is Kanye trying to pull himself back from the edge of what's potentially could be madness, right? Or some kind of celebrity version of madness.
You can see it. I can see a lot of celebrities kind of going mad, right? Because you're kind of in this world where everybody's telling you that you're this thing and you have these expectations.
Why wasn't your music as good as the old?
Right.
But you still trying to do new stuff.
And he made a point about that in the interview, saying, you know, you don't go to the store to buy the iPod 3 when they have the iPod 6 out, right? There's changes. People are going to change as time goes, and they're supposed to get better. Musically, it remains to be seen if Kanye is going to be better than he was early on in his career, because, like I stated before, Kanye will always have my heart musically. The College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation, these albums were classics. 808s on Heartbreaks.
My Twisted Dark Fantasy.
These albums were classics, man.
But that's where
they can't take them away.
Yeah, but that's my cutoff. I'm not
I don't know,
going
the Life
past...
of Pablo was pretty cool.
No,
no more parties in LA and stuff like that.
Since Kanye started talking, like all this Trump is great BS, like black people need to... He's not even saying black people need to do better. He's saying black people need to just stop going with the Democratic Party, and then his reasons are hella wrong. Like, they're hella vapid, they're hella empty.
Let's see, I don't know.
It's just like...
Because he said in the interview, if you're supposed to do a certain thing because you're a certain race, right? Now, I kind of agree with that, because...
I don't, though. Because
I've said it before on the cast, and again, guys, welcome back to the Intelligent Idea Talkers podcast. It's been months.
Welcome back.
So the first episode in months might be a little rusty here, so excuse us. Yeah. But I said before, like, people knew they were voting for Obama before Obama even spoke. When you saw there was a black presidential candidate, black people knew they were voting for him. Yeah. And if you weren't voting for Obama in there, you were racist and get your own kind. Now it's kind of an example of, okay, you're black, so you're supposed to do this certain thing.
Look. All black people voted for Obama because he was black, right?
Yes.
But if you didn't vote for Obama and you were black, doesn't mean you're a racist.
It made you a coon, though.
It made you an asshole. But, like, you weren't a coon. Like, why would you do that? Like, why wouldn't you? Because here's the thing. Here's why. If Obama was the third black president and this was the standard, then I'd be like, well, that's ridiculous. Of course nobody has a vote for Obama because he's black. But he was the first black president.
Sure that.
The first black president to, like, have any kind of, like, countrywide power.
I can see that.
So it's like, Obama was symbolic.
So maybe on the third black president, if you're still voting for him.
If Cory Booker was, like, the presidential candidate and he was running up against, I don't know, anybody, right? Mm-hmm. Name anybody. My favorite candidate right now, Bernie Sanders. Like, if people call me a coon because I voted for Bernie Sanders over Cory Booker, I'd be like, what the fuck is y'all talking about? Y'all not making any sense. Do you know who this person is? Because we're looking at content now. Mm-hmm. But Obama was the first.
He did have that notch in his belt. I'm the first.
And it was just like, I feel like people like Kanye and like of course every black person voted for Obama. But I feel like people like Kanye, Candace Owens, a lot of these other black conservatives, they were like, oh, because he was the first, he was supposed to do things for us, in particular, black people.
Yes.
I'm like,
I can see that too, though.
It would have been nice, but at the same time, he's not just black people's president. He was a black person who was president. He was a black people's president.
True, but he also ran as a Democrat, and the Democrats do have a history of playing on black people's emotions to get them to vote a certain way. You know,
and Republicans have a history of trying to make it so black people can't vote.
I mean, yeah, there's two sides I guess it's two sides of the coin.
Yeah.
There was one part early on in Kanye's interview where he says that he is against the victimization culture that black people tend to still hang on to in these days and times. What did he say? I'm sorry, I'm blanking on it. I meant to timestamp some of the parts and have some audio pulled up. But like I said, we're Rusty's first podcast in months. Yeah, he said he's against the victimization culture. And I guess that's kind of easy to... But then on the other hand, like I said, two sides of every coin. Later on in the interview, he blames his father's Playboy collection for his porn addiction that led to his mental health problems, which sounds like victimization blaming. I mean, if
I missed that part.
Ask me.
But I believe it.
Oh, so wait a minute. Before we should have... Sorry, guys. Pre-production meeting we should have had. We are talking about the same interview, right? The big boy one.
Yeah, Big Boy. Okay, I mean, I might have just missed it. Like, I mean, I was working when I was listening to it. So.
Yeah, like later on, he says that his father had a large Playboy magazine collection, and that got him addicted to porn early on, which kind of, I guess, maybe led to some of his mental health issues later on in life. It just sounds like victimization. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it sounds like to me.
That is definitively
you
victimization.
Just said early on that you were against that culture, so I don't know, man. He's kind of...
How dare my father have porn?
He's kind of all over the place.
For me to look at.
I think there's something to be said about hip hop artists, and you have to have like a sympathetic background, right? Like, if you're not from the hood and you didn't have to sell drugs, right? Like Kanye and somebody like Drake, you had to have family problems, right? Like, you know, Drake was in the news that his father was... Drake was blaming his father and a poor relationship with his father, you know, and his father came out and said that none of that stuff that he's saying in his songs is true. He had a great relationship with Drake. And, you know...
Yeah,
so now, you know, on the other side, Kanye, here he is. My dad had a porno collection. I have these mental health problems. I've been diagnosed as having mental health, and it's like, you have to come from some kind of a murky background. It can't just be like...
But that's like artists in general, right? Because, like, in a way, that's kind of what, like, America looks for, like, in our artists. Or that's what humans look for in art. because like it's hard to have art without like some kind of like catalyst, tragedy, yeah. And like I guess in some people's minds, if you could simulate a tragedy, then just as good if your art is still good enough. You know what I'm saying?
A tragedy. Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like, I haven't heard that, but I've heard like people like Ben Carson say similar things. It's like, oh, this has like porn has done this to me, and this has done that to me. It's like porn is a thing, definitely, but like to make it so you're crazy because you watch porn. Like if that's the case, all of America's crazy as shit right now. Right? So we all crazy as hell.
Which I'm like, who doesn't watch porn? Like, I mean, I guess, and no offense to anybody out there who could be in this situation, but how do you have? Is porn addiction a thing? Can you get addicted to porn? I guess you can, but
if you don't have anything else, then yeah, people can fall into porn as
if you don't have, like,
only way
love.
Of feeling good, right? Then that's definitely a thing. But at the same time, it's like I don't know, man.
Right.
Like that can be a thing. I'm not saying it's crazy, but saying that porn in itself is the reason, then like in a way he's mislabeling his issue.
Right.
Like your issue should be, I'm not interacting with people. I don't have any healthy relationships. I don't have this and that. So I turn to porn and therefore I'm having problems. But it's like, I guess that's a long
Which I'm not exactly sure if he was saying exactly that, but he did say that his father had a large Playboy collection and that...
There was another time he mentioned his father. We was talking about they were in the car or they'll have a conversation or something. I don't know who was saying what they were talking about, but he was like... His dad said something. He was like, "You were never around, Dad." And then, like, I don't know. That shit was funny as hell to me. I wish I could remember what happened. I watched this in like 2 weeks.
He said he's against victimization, but he claims victimization every other chance that he gets, I guess. There's one other point he said that families, and I guess this kind of leads into the porn addiction thing, families are the key to health. You know, like that line was in the comments. And I remember him saying that, and that's true, you know. Maybe people wouldn't be addicted to porn or have as many mental health problems. You know, like, there's no prescription pill that's going to solve mental health. Like, right, like, nature will solve it. Love, family, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Caring about people, having people care about you.
Not making you the center of the world.
Right.
Helps.
And, yeah, I mean, I think that's true. Like, families are the key to health. Like, strong family and having people around you to support you and, you know.
But then again, it's like, so take an egotistical maniac saying that, right? Like, how does an egotistical maniac keep people around him when it's an annoyance to be around him? Because he always makes everything extra dramatic. He always makes everything about him. He's always extra, over the top, whatever. I'm not saying that's Kanye. I'm saying, like, there are people... Well, he does claim himself as being egotistical.
I thought you was about to say, so are you calling Kanye West an egotistical maniac?
He definitely is a bit of a narcissist.
Definitely egotistical, I can say that. But a maniac...
Yeah. Well, maybe not a...
I was about to say, because what makes him that, though? Like, you know, we all love Denzel. We love Denzel Washington movies, right? He might be an egotistical maniac, but we just don't know, you know? So, I don't know. It's like... We got to get to know him. Kanye could be a cool guy. Like, if Kanye was sitting right here doing a podcast, would he'd probably dope.
I guarantee I'd be arguing with him. Right now. Unfortunately, I'd hate to say that, man. Like, if we were meeting in passing, I'd be like, hey, what? Oh, snap, it's Kanye. I mean, yeah, we're good. But if we had to sit down and talk, I feel like
as soon as Kanye said, I'm the one that came out with the Yeezys, bro. Ain't nobody following you. Juice would be like, man, look, man, you got to leave.
What are you talking about? Like, we talking about something else. He's yelling about Yeezys. But, like I'm not even into the shoes like that. I'm not into fashion like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like...
Me neither.
It wouldn't be a whole lot for us to talk about in that regard. I'm like, good for you and shit.
But yeah, one poignant thing with Kanye... Okay.
But that's a good point. What you were saying before about the family being the key to, like, health and happiness.
Right.
That's definitely true, man.
Yeah.
Like, I would agree with that. So,
I mean,
even the stop clock is right.
They're healthy. People are in your corner. They love you. You got somebody to go home to. That would solve all that, you know, whatever incels or anything like that. Speaking of the Joker movie, we're going to cover that later on. Incels, depression, there's no pill that they're going to make that they're going to prescribe to you. It's going to make you not be depressed or to be happy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Like even we don't do that. Like,
right.
there's a limit to everything because a lot of it's from within inside.
Right. A lot of that stuff comes from your human interaction, man. Your family, your friends.
And if it's a chemical imbalance, then that's a thing, right? But then again, you shouldn't be blaming like porn, right?
Yeah, I mean he does claim the victim card. Even early in the interview, he says he's against it. But okay, so everybody's mad at Kanye for wearing the MAGA hat. Okay, and he addressed this in his interview.
Yes.
The whole MAGA hat thing, and him being a Trump supporter. Is Kanye a Republican?
I guess he is now.
Yeah, I guess he would have to be.
If he's voting, yeah.
But maybe
he'd
Kanye...
probably be the guy. He'd probably be the guy who's like, listen, I don't like the Democrats, but I'm not going to vote.
Right. The thing is, Trump has a chance of winning again. He has a chance of being a 2-term president. So
if he's not right.
Maybe Kanye is doing a smart play and siding with the winning team. Could that be a thing?
But it's super preemptive to say that Trump's team is the winning team. Like, that's a hell of a reach.
I guess if you got to pick a side,
Like, maybe, I guess a year ago you could say, like, okay, we're sorting things out right now. Maybe 2 years ago when Kanye started talking to the madness. Like, then, okay, like, I guess it's debatable. But saying now that, like, he's somehow making a political calculation doesn't seem, I don't know. Personally, my opinion, it doesn't seem like it makes much sense.
Yeah. He is nutty as squirrel shit. Don't get it twisted. I think we've said that before. Kanye is nutty, man. He's nutty as squirrel shit. He's not all there. He could be a little more down to earth.
He's rough around the edges, man. For
the MAGA hat thing. He references in an interview. He is also the same person that said George Bush does not care about black people.
Yes.
And we all applauded him for that. We all got on his bandwagon. We all said, Kanye is the man. They're like, I can't believe Kanye was going live TV.
He's a free thinker.
Hurricane Katrina, free thinker. He stands up for black people. He said what he felt in that moment.
And he was right.
And he was right. And they cut him off, and Hurricane Katrina happened. And now, a couple years later, he wears a MAGA hat and he's a coon. So I kind of got his point on that. I'm like, okay, I can kind of see it. I mean, we're throwing everything that he's done before out the window because he wore a MAGA hat. And everybody hates Trump. All black people hate Trump. So you're supposed to hate Trump, Kanye. Because you're black. You're not supposed to like Trump. Okay? Because you're a black man. And black people are not supposed to like Trump.
I feel like the biggest point right now of that entire thing, because that shit is true. Same person said that jump. But the same person can say a right thing, and the same person can say something incredibly wrong.
True.
And it's just, you might just be incorrect. If you're like you talking about the sky is purple, right? And everybody's looking up, and the sky is blue. And you're like, no, that Jone's green. And we were looking at Joe like, no, it's blue. And then you're like, you get on your horse, you be like, the sky is green. Y'all crazy. You're persecuting me. Then we got to look at you like you're crazy. Because it's like, okay, something happened. We lost him somewhere along the way. Because that's not what we're seeing. And we have a consensus over here.
He is a little detached from...
Because he's rich.
Yeah. And that's rich, the whole victimization thing he's talking about, right? He made another point in the interview where he said there's two types of freedom. Kanye said this. There's financial freedom and there's the freedom to serve power higher than yourself. I believe I'm stating that correctly. It's easy for somebody to not claim victimization and talk the way he does when he is financially free.
He has no consequence. Well, not really.
He's financially free, but he's still as dependent on this system as the average man is, right? I mean, he's dependent on the programs and the things that are in place to maintain his status and his level of wealth and security, right? Like, he's trying to break into the fashion industry and all that. I mean, do you think that the average person who's listening to a Kanye West interview can afford just $400, $500 shirt that he's coming out with for his clothing? You know what I mean? Like, we can't afford no $900 Yeezys. I'm not paying $2,000 for a pair of Yeezys. Okay?
And here's an argument right now. Like, you're right. Is that the same Kanye that was a backpacker?
Right.
Because, like, remember, that was his whole thing when he came up. And that was a whole thing when he was talking about Bush don't like black people.
Mm-hmm.
He was a backpacker. He was almost in the conscious rap game, right? He was like thinking about it.
He was on the edge. He was like the pop /
he was still pop, right?
Conscious.
But he was talking about something which pertained to like our realities. Now he's in a different reality. So can you say this is the same Kanye?
It's not.
Like, in a way, it's not the same Kanye. So he's saying that, same dude that said this. Like, I guess historically, you share the same DNA, right? But your mental state, your mentality, and your viewpoints have changed completely. How can we relate? Because the sky sure shit ain't green.
The only way we could is through the music. And his music hasn't been up to par with, as you were saying before, his backpack days. And
man. Because he doesn't have anything real to say.
No.
Like,
true that. That's a good point.
You know, it was a good point, or a crazy thing I was thinking about. It was like, you remember that part, the Schoolboy Q jump with Kanye on it? That part?
I think so, yeah.
So, Kanye's verse seems
so...
Yeah, Kanye's verse in that jump, out of the whole song, like, the song had a beat, it had a groove, everything. Kanye came in that jump and just brought another beat into it and was just doing something completely different thing than the rest of the song. And he was like, put this in the song. And, you know, Schoolboy, he was like coming up. He's like, Kanye said it? Yeah, for sure. But when you look at it, it's so off kilter with the rest of this song, with the rest of like what was going on at that time.
Right.
I mean, this is symbolic. I'm not making any like factual points. But it seems like symbolically, like Kanye's not listening. Like, he's got a lot of opinions, but he's got no, like, he ain't listening to what's actually happening out here. Like, he's in his own little world.
I can see that because he lives on a different plane. I mean, look at his family, look at his wife. That celebrity status definitely goes to your head. The money goes to your head, the fame, the notoriety, you know.
Yeah, man.
It just goes to your head, and he is a different person. I mean, his backpack days were well over 10 years ago, right? I mean...
Oh, yeah, way over that.
I mean, it was 2019. Yeah, he was dropping 808s and Heartbreaks in 2010? I think that was kind of his turn, musically. Yeah. 808s and Heartbreaks. Because My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy was still cool.
It was cool. And it was super pop, and he had some really old school influences in it. And which kind of made it, like, substantive. He
said, not in this interview, I think I was listening to some before, and he was like, it might not even been Kanye, but somebody was like, you know, your new stuff sounds different than your old stuff. And, you know, the person that was being interviewed was like, well, that's the point. You know what I mean? Like, it's supposed to sound different. It's supposed to grow.
Yeah.
You know, like, nobody's going to like it until somebody tries it and say, oh, that was different. I like that, you know?
Yeah.
So,
but that's
where he's coming from a little bit. With that part with Schoolboy Q, you know, maybe he's like, or he, on the other hand, he could have just been an asshole and wanted to change his part of the song. Oh, well, my part is going to be better than the rest of the song.
Like, my flow doesn't go with your song, so I'm going to change the beat to make it go with my flow.
And, you know, in Schoolboy Q's behalf, it's like, yo, this is Kanye West. Why would I not listen to him?
I would do it.
But when the person listened to the album, was like, the fuck, this shit sounds totally different than the rest of the song. Like, that came out of nowhere. What was the point of that, you know?
Yeah. But anyway, that was an arbitrary thought just came to my head. But you're right, though. Like, when you talk about, like, artists and, like, creating new stuff, man, like, especially with music, like, it has a change, right? Because nobody wants to listen to, I mean, I guess it's debatable. Because I would like to listen to my old artists. I used to like doing very similar stuff to what they used to do.
Right.
Like think about Busta Rhymes, right? Like, his style changed.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
Completely.
Completely. And it's not that his new stuff ain't good. But
from, like, Extinction Level Event to, like, Genesis or, like, his later album. Yeah, duh, completely.
Completely, right? But, you know, as is the progression of artistic endeavors.
It got worse, actually.
Huh?
For Busta, it got worse. I mean, he's probably on that Kanye West trajectory.
I'm saying, dude, like, here's the thing. Your money changes. Your status changes. So you change your flow. So you change your productions. So you change all these other things.
Right.
And then people are like, yeah, that was cool and all. That joint sure as shit wasn't woo high. You know what I'm saying? Like, it sure as hell wasn't that. And I get why. And people, I don't think people are confused.
New York, Jersey, DC. Yeah.
But if Busta did an old school woo-ha style jump, you don't think people would be like, oh shit?
I think the older heads for nostalgia would be. I don't know if the newer. I don't know if it would be financially viable at this point. Like,
yeah, true.
Because it wouldn't sell, and people don't buy albums like that. And the younger generation. Somebody else said in an interview, I forget who, like hip hop is for the younger generation, right? It always has been, right? Like it's the sound is for the younger generation. The message is for the younger generation. Even when we were younger and we were listening to Busta and Wu and the older heads, when we were listening to that stuff, we're like, man, what the hell is this stuff? Like we don't, nigga this and nigga that. And now today's hip hop, we're listening to it, and I'm saying the same thing. It's just nigga this, nigga that. You know what I mean? You got a car full of white people bumping. Some song where it's like nigga. It's just a fucking car full of white people. You know what I'm saying? And like they just jam it out to it, but whatever. It's for the younger generation. It's supposed to be.
It is, right, and that's always going to be like a tricky thing.
Right,
so hip hop's changed, music. Yeah, it's always changing, man.
It's hard with us with them because we're old heads nowadays.
Yeah,
like,
admit it.
We're officially old.
See these grays, man?
Right,
this is right here.
But it was one point in the and like I said, I'm refreshing my memory from the comments. Right, so there was one point in the interview where Kanye states that everybody's so woke, but they following the rules of what woke is supposed to be, right? And that's kind of true, right? But Kanye, so are you. You the one out there with the MAGA hat. You know what I mean? You're following the rules of what woke is supposed to be too. You know what I'm saying?
Or what you think woke is supposed to. Because here's the thing. Here's an actual thing. Woke ain't supposed to be any particular thing except for looking at truth without the glasses on.
Right.
And if Kanye is wearing a MAGA hat and thinking that's truth, then that hat is
thick ass glasses.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you're just covering your whole vision, man.
You ain't Clark Kent, bro. Like, you can see right through that disguise, man. You right. Thick ass glasses, man.
I heard people always talking about, like, what is woke and what ain't woke, man. Like, woke is just looking at, like, trying to get an unfiltered view of what the truth is. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't pretty, right? And a lot of people saying they are doing woke things aren't woke. You know what I'm saying? And in a way, whose responsibility is it to call them out on it? Like, I wouldn't say it's mine. Why the fuck would Kanye say it's his? Because he's rich or famous because he got a MAGA hat on. Like, which one makes him... He
can pull an audience, and he does have a following, I mean, we're sitting there discussing him.
True.
But,
True. Undeniable.
What woke is supposed to be, I think it's just realizing, understanding truths, and understanding things that are going on around you and why things happen. Like, it's not a hat you put on. It's not the way you dress. It's not what music you listen to.
It's not who you vote for.
Right. It's not. It's just having an understanding of what's happening around you.
It's not the party you vote for, right?
Right.
It's not the party you're in, right? That's what I'm saying. It's like...
And we all know that black people have tended to side with the Democratic Party for years now. Just out of, I don't know, obligation, maybe? Or...
I don't think it's obligation, because here's the thing. When black people haven't been voting, which has been before Obama, black voting was super low, right? So I feel like when black people I feel like when black people don't have to feel obligated to vote Democrat, I don't feel like that's the thing. I think if black people aren't inspired, they'll do what the fuck they did in 2016, and they just fucking won't show up. Nah, I think black people just won't vote.
I think there's a ton of people. Well, I'm not even sure if it's just black people or people in general, man. There's a lot of people that general, just didn't care to vote. I mean,
like, the common man's not like I'm Democratic right now, right? Because I'm looking at somebody who's like, okay, I'm all in, right? But if this person wasn't running, like, I'm not just about to be out here just like, well, guess I gotta go vote.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for what? Like, there's nobody in there speaking to me, right? So I feel like people shouldn't just vote just because you're supposed to vote this way.
But I mean, you
like,
kind of
vote for what inspires you.
I think people just, this is part of being woke, right? You're woke about the political system as well, and I think you probably said this before in the cast. Like, most people just mean, not everybody's going to be rich like Kanye. Not everybody's going to be Jeff Bezos and whatnot. You know what I mean? A trillionaire or whatever it is. Like most people just want to have good jobs, have their bills paid, take care of their families, and not be on stressed out all the time. You know, and worried about money and depressed and So, I mean, I don't know, man. I think people are just tired of that whole political system that way, which I think, I don't know if they're tired of it, but it's just like, well, if I go vote, what good is it going to do me? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like that mentality. So I don't know. And I don't know if that's just black people. I think it might be people of all. Yeah. Like the guy I work with right now, like, he's definitely just like, I don't vote. Why? Because it doesn't fucking matter. While we're on MAGA hats, do you think Trump has a realistic chance of repeating as president?
I hope not, but anything's possible, man. Like, he got elected the first time, dude, against all odds. So
I think he totally does.
Yeah, anything can happen, man. Like, remember, I was the one back in the day who was like, look, people need to stop fucking around. He can win this show. I was like, dude, y'all need to stop playing. Like, pay attention.
And on the MAGA thing, is it not smart of Kanye to have a friend that high up on the the political ladder, right? Like, if Kanye, if Trump comes around, well, yeah, I mean, Trump is Trump. Yeah, I don't know if he has ever had any real friends. I mean, you got people around you that can use you for some reason or benefit to them. But, like, if Trump does end up repeating and Kanye was the only one wearing a MAGA hat, does that not benefit Kanye? Is that not going to make Kanye smart? I mean, he might be a little smart for that. You know what I mean? Like, okay, well, because music is only going to take you so far, right? You're coming up with Jesus is King, which I'm on the fence about. I might get, I might not. I like The Life of Pablo, but we'll see. I don't know where Kanye is going to be with that, Not really too big of a fan of the title, Jesus is King, but he might be smart, man. I mean, I got a friend high up on the ladder, bro. I can get a job in, maybe I want this, a startup for some business, or maybe he's positioning himself. The shit is chess, it ain't checkers.
Maybe.
I'm sorry.
But Trump can't play checkers or chess.
Right.
But
Trump might be a good chess player, man. You can't think that far ahead.
But anyway, so all right, so talking about like Jesus is King, right? All right. So the title, and to his whole church service thing, right? So let me lay out how I think I've heard this, right? And I'm not sure if I'm 100% right. So, if I'm wrong, then, let me know. But, like, Kanye's doing concerts in church. He has Sunday service, which is his thing now, where he performs and he does concert churches. And then he has guest pastors come and they invite all the people and people give donations and all this stuff. Am I understanding, is that what's happening right now? Is Kanye having concerts in church?
I would hope not. If he did, I would hope it's
for
some other reason than... I mean, is he getting paid for these?
That's the thing. I'm not really sure, man. So here's the thing. I heard T.I. talking about this, right?
There's an audience. T.I. was in the news recently, man. He said that you heard that? He said he still goes with his daughter to get her hymen, gynecologist. Right.
Hey, man, it's a responsible
to ensure she's a virgin, but he's getting some backlash because she's apparently 18 or something now. A month or two ago.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, we could talk about that, but like,
hey, bro, give her privacy, bro.
All in all, like, so T.O. was talking about how he went to one of Kanye's church things, and I think it was in Georgia or something. So he went and he said he saw a whole bunch of rappers in that joint, and how like they had like actual sermons. They had preachers come up on stage and they were giving testimony and all this other stuff. And people were just and so they they're passing out collections plates and stuff. And they had a pastor from like visiting from another state, right, talking about how like, oh, he needs what do you call it, like a commitment or something. He needs like a commitment for 20 people for, what do you say? It was something ridiculous, man. It was like 10,000 each. 10 people for 10,000 each. They need a commitment. And he was pointing at because there were a bunch of rappers out there. He was pointing at rappers and stuff. And people were like giving him money. And then Kanye came out and he did his show.
If he'd have been pointing at me and I was a rapper, I'd have been looking around at other rappers like, yo, y'all gonna give me 10,000? Because I ain't dropping no 10 G's up in.
Like, T.I. was like, I ain't paying shit.
All right.
I don't know what the fuck you talking about. Don't look at me.
I might give you 100.
Don't look over here. But like, so I don't know. Like, is this his thing? Like, so my question is, one, if Kanye's doing concerts in church, is he taking a route to start his own church, which was kind of what it seems like, the whole Sunday service thing, and two, like, is he for real about this Christianity thing? Because when I see churches and I see mega churches, I know that shit ain't for real.
He might be.
Like in my mind, I see a mega church and I see these cats out here asking people to give donations or or seeds for like $100 a meet, whatever you have on you right now.
When you see a mega church and there's 5,000 people in the crowd in this auditorium used for concerts, it's like, is any of this real? Like, is this? You believe what this guy on the stage is telling you?
True faith? Because in a way, I'm not buying it. So is Kanye for real? Like, my question is Kanye for real? I
would hope for his sake that he is, right? Because it's kind of smart, right? Like there's a large Christian audience.
There is.
Wants to hear, who would love Kanye, a large Christian audience who only know Kanye for the song "Jesus Walks." Yeah. You know how popular big that song was amongst churches, and especially black churches, man. Like, they was probably playing that in white mega churches. You know what I mean? Jesus walks.
So that's what I'm thinking. Like, is this money making for him?
Or if it's real, he's, like I said, he's nuttier than squirrel shit, and he's gonna gain a large audience from doing this. He's also going to alienate a part of his audience who don't care about any religious aspirations that he may have, and just want to.
And there's a lot of people in the middle of that too. Mm-hmm. So not just those, like me. I'm the
I wouldn't. I would give his musically. I would give him a chance anyway. Yeah. I don't know if I would ever attend one of his churches. You can open up a church. I don't know if I would go, but. Yeah, I might go to a Kanye West church concert.
Kanye have a church chain.
Now, he also said in the interview, what songs is he going to do in these concerts? Because he's also the same guy who came out with
Gold Digger.
You're such a fucking hoe. I love it. You know what I mean? You like he said that in the joint. Like, so now you coming out with an album called Jesus is King, but you came out with You're such a fucking. And he was talking about how that fed into the culture and how black people ate it up and it jumped to the top of the charts and all this. And, it was a cool song.
Like, and that's the thing. Like, he somehow mixes like pop, like popular music, right? Mm-hmm. With all of a sudden the baseness of like people and their personal lives. Right. It's like, no, we like jamming music. You made good music. I don't know why you said what you said, but don't put it on us. You know what I'm saying? You said it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he was definitely saying that, talking about like, oh, well, so I'm going to make cleaner music now. Right, I'm gonna make religious music now. I was like, I guess, dude, but
I would hope
don't put it on us,
because that's gonna be very limiting for his music genius. If we can use the word genius and Kanye in the same sentence, yeah. Musically, he's still a genius. I'm sorry, man. Kanye West is my dude, man. Okay, like, he got me through some times. Kanye was there for me. Okay. And he still 100%. Is, man. I still got all his albums. There's only one album Kanye came out with I didn't like, and that was I think it was Yeezus. I think that was the only album I did not like.
That was after my cutoff, so.
Yeezus was trash, dog. That joint was stupid. Yeah. But then he came out with Life of Pablo. Life of Pablo was pretty good. You check that joint out. It's got a couple tracks on there. I think it's probably maybe 13 or 14. At least 8 of them are cool. So
I'm listening to Tyler, the Creator.
Mm-hmm. Tyler, the Creator's a weird dude.
That nigga weird as shit.
Yeah, he's weird as
this nigga funny as hell, though.
I think I got one of his joints called Goblin. Didn't he come out with a joint called Goblin?
Yeah, crazy. He got this Igor joint right now. That shit weird as fuck, dude. He's dressed as
this
nigga dressed as a dude in like a pink suit and a blonde wig. Like, it's just crazy. But like, so here, let me say this, about Kanye, man. And we should probably wrap this one up, man, because we're hitting the 30-minute mark. But like, right now, Kanye, I feel like he's not gonna be able to maintain this shit, right? Like, I've been in his shoes. I've been in his position where I tried to go back to my religious ways, right? Like, I grew up JW, right? And long story short, I didn't stay there. But there was a point in my life where I was like, okay, let me try to like figure this out, right? Like maybe I'm not believing in this because I'm missing something. Like maybe there's a part in this whole thing that I forgot or that I didn't realize. So I like went back and I started studying again and I was doing extra religious. I was going to church all the time, doing field service, all this stuff. And in the end, I kind of came to the conclusion that like this is all still bullshit to me, and like there's nothing I can do. There ain't no amount of Bible reading that's going to convince me that this shit is for real, right? Like there may be truths in the overall context of things, and you know, like truths can be found anywhere, dude. But the fact that the idea that those things are literally true, so I feel like in Kanye's case, if he's for real, and I'm not even saying 100% that he is, because he recently had a white Jesus like come out on stage. A guy dressed as white Jesus come out on stage, which makes me think like, oh, this is a complete gimmick. But if he's being for real, I feel like his desperation, and I saw this desperation in that interview with Big Boy, his desperation to want to believe this is not going to hold up. And it might be kind of destructive in the end if he's staking his entire existence on this Christian thing.
Like I said, I would hope he's not, man, because
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I'm worried though in that regard.
I'm worried too. Like some of the best people on the face of the earth are religious people, like kind-hearted. You know, just want nothing but the best for the people around them and their communities, and you know, I mean, so it's hard to say. I hope he's not serious about it. I would say this: if he is serious, be serious. Like, if you're not, this is just a money grab for you. Yeah, come on, Kanye. You got to do better than that. You could have just stuck with clothing or shoes or music. You didn't have to bring religion into it.
So that's my son talking back there. Yeah.
It's all good. It's his house. It's his house.
He didn't trying to make commentary. He's like, Kanye be tripping.
But,
he's like, Kanye tripping.
All right. Cute. But yeah, man. I mean, it's you know, like I said, I would hope Kanye is serious, and if you're gonna do it, just do it and be serious about it, man. Don't let it be just for money, just for capital gains.
Or try meditation.
Clout.
You know? Try that shit.
Yeah, you know, one thing I think about religion that's messing them up is like you mentioned me at JW, like it's just the access to other books and information. You know what I mean? Like when you start hearing stories about, you know, we were just looking at your book with Krishna and Vishnu and Set and, you know, these Egyptian mythologies, and you see these similarities to these Christian stories. It's just like
the golden rule wasn't written in the Bible, man. That's an ancient rule of we were human relations
in religion to take it literally. Like, Jesus died for your sins. You know, you are supposed to, you know, be subservient to his messengers on earth, which is the church. You know, you're supposed to be subservient to them, and you know, the Almighty Father, and you know, and then a lot of people just kind of access to information just killed that, because like,
they're like, why do I have to believe this?
Right? Thing? Why is this like? So, what? Show me a picture of this.
I was going to say it's like blah blah blah, and you're like, yeah, but what about that?
Right. Well, what about this history book that was written 2,000 years before the Bible that says something, you know, similar? You know? So what do you guys know that they didn't know? You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Here's what it is. Kanye, step your game up, man. You still my man though, Kanye. I love you, man. I love you. He was rambling like a mug in that joke, though, man. He was tending to ramble.
Every question, he was like, fuck that question.
Right.
Screw that question. I'm talking about something else. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But all right, guys.
Yep. That's Kanye West in a nutshell.
Next topic.
Peace.
Peace.